All right, so quadratic formula. So this is just another strategy to solving for x-intercepts. We have factoring, we have completing the square, and then quadratic formula is just another way. Okay? The special thing about quadratic formula is any quadratic equation can be solved using it. So if you get one that can't be factored, you can use quadratic formula. If that's the main thing. You can always use quadratic formula. Now you can always complete the square as well though. So that's why completing the square might be a little bit better, just because quadratic formula takes a little bit longer. Okay? So the standard form of a quadratic is zero equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And that's the standard form, except standard form normally has a y. Right here we have a 0 because we're trying to find those x-intercepts. This is still finding x-intercepts. Okay. When you're using the quadratic formula, you're still finding those x-intercepts. Okay? So the quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? And b is here, a is here, and c is the constant at the end. Okay? Now you get those letters just from your equation, and then you just plug it in where they belong. And then you just plug and chug from there. You just factor it all, you math it all out, and then it'll work out somehow. Okay? So let's just do an example. Zero equals negative 6x squared minus 5x plus 9. Looking at that, I don't want to factor it because it looks really ugly. So this is a case that you'd use quadratic formula or completing the square if you like it. But this could be quadratic formula. And we have, this is A, this is B, and that is C. That's going to get plugged into that quadratic formula. So go ahead and do that right now. Try to plug those letters in and see if you can figure out how to solve it. So I'm going to follow this formula. X equals negative b, negative 5, plus or minus the square root of b squared, negative 5 squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a. Now we just take that and we're just going to solve it all out. So that's going to be x equals a negative negative 5 becomes a positive 5, plus or minus the square root of 25, and then we have a negative 4 times a negative 6 times a 9, plus 216 all over negative 12. So x equals 5 plus or minus the square root of 241 all over negative 12. And at this point we can pretty much stop there because the square root of 241 is not a perfect number. So that would be it. Now there's other things you can do from there, but it's not necessary at this point. Okay?